Hi folks, why should you study politics at Landau Forte 6th form? Well, we do the AQA course. It is a full A level, so that'll help you applying for university, applying for apprenticeships, and it will also help you if you go off and do further study. We do three things. We look at Britain, we look at the United States, and we do something called political theories. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. If I can introduce you to my big friend here, who is Mr. Hollinshead.
Hi guys.
He's going to tell you a little bit about what we do with the United States. Mr. H.
USA, fundamental principle with what you're looking at here is the codified constitution. What rights does it give people? The right to own guns? Should we carry on with that? How do we separate powers in America as well between the president, Congress, and the Supreme Court? How do they check each other? You know, we need to ask questions like that. Fundamentally, at the moment, we're looking at the difference between being a Republican and a Democrat. Where are those values? Where do they sit? Things like abortion, human rights, the environment, all of these things matter. How do they elect the president? Now, we're going to have a new president within, hopefully, a month's time. How do they elect them? What is this thing called the electoral college vote? All sorts of questions begin to emerge. Is America a federal system? Does it give power to the local states? Or is it centralized in DC? So we address all these fundamental questions and then we try and reach conclusions. Now, Sue's going to talk to you about, Mr. Harrison, about British politics now.
Fantastic. What we do in Britain is very, very similar, but we compare to the United States. We have a Prime Minister, they have a President. What's the difference between the two? We have a Parliament, they have a Congress. What's the difference between the two? Which system's better? They have a Supreme Court, we have a Supreme Court. Do they have different powers? We ask ourselves things like, well, actually, what's the difference between Labour, Conservative, Liberal, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, and so on and so on? What are the differences? Why do people vote the way they do in Britain? Is it the same as in the United States? We do a third paper as well, and we do all sorts of different theories. Liberalism, conservatism, socialism, and feminism. My tall friend who you've just met, well, he's actually a very big socialist. I'm straight down the line liberal. We argue about all sorts of different things. Do you think people are good? Do you think people are bad? Do you need somebody telling people how to do things? Or should you just let people do it themselves? What about feminism? Should people be equal in mind? It doesn't matter about gender. Does it matter about race? Does it matter about class? And so on and so on. If you want to come for an argument, come to Landau Forte, do the politics. You'll meet me and Mr. Hollinshead in person. Thank you for playing.